Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw What If. Welcome back to another What If story. Now before we get into this What If, I took one of the suggestions, if I could speak properly, anyways, from one of you guys from having some sort of shadow ability. So I named it it's pretty much a sub ability from his quirk called the Shadow Forge. He's able to produce his own black weapons. Well, his weapons he creates are black in general, but he's able to form weapons out of shadow. So I got a couple cool scenes in store for the series. So that's pretty much about it. What I want to discuss before we get into this what if. All right, let's get into the story now. As we cut to a old good guy doll factory that was abandoned several generations ago from the old world, long before Quarks manifested, one of Japan's branches. As you see several gang members tied up to a chair and gagged, as a green hair, sorry, as a green hair, green eye woman comes walking into the factory with a 6-year-old green hair boy with one green eye on the right and one red eye on the left. As the woman looks down to the young boy, now listen, dear. These are the people that were responsible for killing your father. They are bad people, and they got scot-free because of the current justice system. They bribed the judge, sweetheart. They have to die. These people deserve these people don't deserve to live. Do you understand? As the young boy nods, good sweetheart. I will guide you through it. Oh, sorry, I will guide you through what to do. Your quirk is very similar to mine. You just have a more advanced version of your father's and mine. Now, not only you can create any blades or bladed weapon you want, you can also make your hands into weapons itself, like your father. I know this is going to be very hard for you, sweetheart, but this is what our family does. My mother taught me. Now I'm teaching you. Yes, we do kill people, but we only kill the bad people. We do not hurt the innocent. Your father taught me that. I used to be a very bad woman. He showed me a better way to crave my urges. These bastards took your father from us. They are no longer human. Now concentrate, dear. As Deku concentrate, as both of his hands morph into a black metal claws. Now, do what your father taught you. As Deku points his finger at one of the gang members' chest, as the finger extends, piercing the man's chest, piercing through the man's chest, going through his heart, killing him instantly. Did I do a good job, Mom? As she ruffles his hair. What about the others, Mom? You don't need to worry about you don't need to worry about that, sweetheart. I'll do the rest. You did a very good job. Now allow your mother to do the rest. As Inko creates a black katana, as she walks towards the men, as she decapitates the rest of the gang members. Let's go. Let's go home, sweetheart. As they both begin to leave, as something caught her eye, a good guy doll. She heard of these toys that used to be quite popular back in the day. As she picks it up and kneels down to Izuku's eye level, I know I missed your birthday yesterday. I know this won't make up for it, but this is a good guy doll. It used to be very popular. It's in very good condition. As as she gives the good guy doll to Izuku, as he hugs it, as he has a bright smile on his face, as they leave the factory, as a year has passed, as Deku got home from school, as he sees the apartment was covered in blood, as he sees several men on the ground, dead, as he sees Inko leaning against the hallway, holding the side of her waist, as she walks towards her son, as she hears several vehicles stopping in front of the apartment, as she tells her son to hide, as Inko looks out the window, as she sees the gangsters pull out some stuff at the back of the vehicle, as her eyes widen, as she runs over to her son, as she hugs him. You need to leave, Izuku. I'm sorry, my son. I love you. As she picks up her son, tosses him out the window. Izuku still holding on to the good guy doll while he was basically tossed out by the window by his mother. As the apartment blows up from the rocket launcher that the gang members had in the back seat or the trunk of the car. As Deku gets knocked out from the impact from hitting the ground, as he fades in and out of consciousness, as he sees as he sees him being dragged into the alleyway by a good guy doll. Damn, kid, what the hell your mother's been feeding you? It's a shame that she died. I kinda like that woman. She had spunk. I see too much potential in you, kid, to allow you to die. Me and you are gonna have a whole lot of fun. As Deku wakes up under a bridge, seeing the good guy doll on a crate, I see you're finally up, Sleeping Beauty. I know you have a lot of questions, kid. Let's get the whole shock and stupid questions about a walking, talking doll. My name's Chucky. As he pulls out a knife out of his overalls or his clothes, as he stabs the crate, I can I can help you get revenge, kid. School's in session, my boy. There will be a pop quiz, and it's a killer. As Chucky starts laughing, any questions? As he looks down to the ground, as he looks Chucky in the eye, I really don't care what you are, but what I do care about is killing those bastards. Good, my boy. You have my sympathy about your mother. She was a woman after my own heart. I see a lot of potential in you, my boy. I will mold you into a killing machine. With your abilities, we're going to paint the streets red with blood. As Chucky starts laughing hysterically. Now, that said, as he jumps off the crate, we're going to start working on the basics. I have a lot of things to teach you. I've been around for a very long time, kid. Your mother had taught you very well, but you're still an amateur. The fact that you already killed, you have a good start. Where do we find these? Where do we find these guys? Hold your horses, slugger. Scums like... Well, sorry, guys, give me a second here. Scum like that have a nest. Now the question is, how much do you want them to suffer? Slowly. Good. For now, we'll locate where their operations at and find their base. And when they least suspect it, you're gonna kill them all. And and disturb their operations. It's gonna be quite fun, my boy. As we time skip 7 years, as Ezekiel is 14 years old, the death of Inka Midoriya and the disappearance of Izuku Midoriya did not go unnoticed by the authorities and the heroes. During the time skip, Deku dedicated his time learning from Chucky and perfecting his quirk and stalking the gang every chance he got. The ones that are responsible for killing his mother. He finally found out their location of their base, some sort of old manor, and all of their side operations. A week after Izuku turned 14, oh sorry, a week after Izuku's 14th birthday, Chucky told his protege that he had to take care of some business, leaving him with his own devices. As Deku standing on top of some time has passed, as he was standing on top of a building, looking down on one of the warehouses that this gang runs in Hosu City. As he jumps off the roof, activating his black metal claws, as he drags inside the building, slowing his descent to the alleyway. As he lands gracefully, he moved his mask from the side of his face until the mask covered his face entirely. As Deku saw two lookouts in front of the warehouse door, as Deku burst into a sprint, before the gang members realized he was there, their heads drop to the ground as their body flops to the ground, gushing out blood. As Izuku stands in front of the big metal door, as he swings his claws against the door, cutting it in half, as he calmly walks into the warehouse. Greetings, gentlemen. I'll be your executioner for the day. As he does a bow, they all point their guns at Izuku as they immediately open fire as Izuku calmly walks towards them, reflecting the bullets from his claws. Attacking me with proper introductions. Or sorry, attack me without proper introductions. Very rude of you gentlemen. No matter though. Without them noticing, black spears shoot out of the shadows, impaling several of them in the chest, killing them instantly. As Izuku calmly walks, he basically killed everyone there, basically. As Izuku calmly walks out of the warehouse, as he jumps from rooftop to roof, finally getting on the roof, jumping from rooftop to rooftop, heading to his next location, according to his intel that he gathered, they did require a daughter of a pro hero for payback. As Fumi was bound to a chair, blindfolded and gagged, as the gang members are arguing what to do with the girl, they ultimately decide to kill the girl and drop her body in front of Endeavor's house. Nothing personal, girl. Your good old dad crossed us for the last time. If you had anyone to blame, it's your old man. We'll make this quick. As he points the gun to her forehead, as Fumi starts to cry as she finally accepted her fate. Out of nowhere, she hears the sound of glass breaking. Who the fuck is that? Kill him! As Fumi could only hear gunshots, the moment when he crashed through the window as he decapitates two of the gang members that closest to him, as he starts to reflect bullets, keeping the girl from being unharmed while being harmed. Just making sure there was no stray bullets hitting her, basically. As he throw out black knives, piercing a good amount of the gang members in the heart, killing them instantly. As one of the gang members point a gun at Izuku, as Izuku jumps up jumps up in the air, kicks the gun out of his hand, as his fingers are, well, as he morphs his finger into his claws, as he chops the guy's head off. For the rest of the gang members, he points his fingers at all of them, as his claw fingers extend, piercing them to the wall, killing them all pretty easily. As Ezekiel unbinds the girl from the chair, picks her up, bridal style, as he jumps out of the window, as he sets her down on the ground on one of the top of the buildings, as he removes the blindfold and ungagged her. Who are you? As she has a terrified expression on her face. Who I am is not important. I mean you no harm. Are you a villain? No, I'm no villain, nor am I a hero. I guess you could label me as a vigilante, Miss Todoroki. I'll take you home now. How can I trust you? Miss Todoroki, if I wanted you dead, you would be. I don't hurt civilians. Just let's just say the gang that kidnapped you, I have a personal interest to eradicate them all. May I ask what... Sorry. May I ask what you are called? Huh. That's a very good question. Honestly, I have no idea. As he picks up the girl in his arms, as he made his way to the Todoroki residence after, traveling through rooftop to rooftop and taking some back alleyways. As Fumi... Sorry, give me guys a second here. As Fumi thanks Izuku for saving her, she knows her dad would have never cared to save her in the first place. He was too absorbed in his quest to be the number one hero to bother to notice her disappearance. Don't worry, Miss Todoroki. They will not be doing this again. As Fumi looks at Izuku, it's Fumi. As Izuku tilts his head in confusion, as Fumi giggles, it's my name. As she rushes over to him, giving him a hug and kisses him on the side of the mask, on his cheek of his mask, basically what I'm basically trying to say. As she bows, as she made her way towards her home, when Fumi looked back to look at her rescuer, yeah, I can't pronounce that for right now. She was surprised that he was nowhere to be seen. As the next 4 weeks, he spent the next 4 weeks targeting all of their side operations, leaving the gang in pure chaos. Even the pro heroes took notice to his handiwork as Mirako and Ryoko tried to hunt down whoever is responsible for killing these criminals. As Ryoko and Mirako have been investigating the murders of a local gang, they still don't know who is responsible. At first, they thought it was a villain, eliminating competition. The only description they got from any witnesses from several human trafficking operations that the gang was involved with was only by, well, only thing they have on is this: the person that has green hair is wearing a mask. Both Ryoko and Mirako came to the conclusion that it was a new vigilante. They were shocked by the degree of brutality that this vigilante showed these gang members. As Mirko and Ryoko began stalking the gang headquarters for the chance to identify him and stop this new vigilante from doing any more harm. Out of nowhere, three black spears shoot through the shadows, impaling the guards guarding the gate of the manor. As Mirko and Ryoko see the three guards die instantly. As they see someone walking out of the shadows wearing a mask. As Deku creates a black katana, slicing through the metal gate, Izuku begins brutally slaughtering all the gang members in the manor until he got to the top floor where the leader of the gangs is located. As he kicks the door down, "You got a lot of nerve challenging me, kid." Or he doesn't really know because he has a mask on or whatever. You're going to pay. I gotta admit, to think you would cripple my organization to such a degree all by yourself. Kill him. The surviving members of the gang all unsheath their blades as they all charge Izuku as they clash, as the battle of, as they all clash blades. As Izuku begins to parry their strikes, swinging his blade so fast they couldn't keep up with him. Simply sheathed his blade as he walks past his men, or the gang leader's men. All of them drop into little pieces of flesh as blood starts to fill the floor. The gang leader slowly walks backwards, hitting the wall by the pure shock of fear in his face. Your death will not be quick. Who the hell are you? My name is Izuku Midoriya. Wait, Midoriya? Why does that ring a bell? As he pulls off his mask, as his mask drops to the ground, do you remember a woman called Inko Midoriya? As he has a cocky grin. Oh, that bitch? That bitch caused me quite a bit of problems, so I had her killed. Well, that bitch was my mother. As he loses his cocky grin, as he morphs his hand into his black claws, as the gang leader pulled out a gun. His gun as Izuku slowly walks towards him, reflecting every bullet he shot out. As he flash steps, basically flash steps, as he loses track of Izuku, as the gang leader screams out in pain, as his hand drops to the ground, was holding the gun, as his wrist is gushing out blood, gush up where his hand used to be, as several black spears pop out of the shadows, piercing him to the wall, avoiding all the vital areas. As a man with pure fear in his face, unable to speak, as Mirko and Ryoko come bursting into the office, as their eyes widen by the brutality they see in the room. Surrender, vigilante, as Mirko demands, basically. As Mirko and Ryoko get a good look at the vigilante. They were shocked by how young he is. As Izuku stomps his feet, as hundreds of black spears shoot out of the shadows, blocking the heroes from interfering. Do not interfere, heroes. This vile shit deserves everything he gets here. Get here. Everything he gets here tonight. Don't make me kill you too. Regardless of what actions you take here tonight, heroes, this man will die. Kid, why are you going this far? As Ryuko wants to know as well. Simply, heroes, this bastard killed my family. He owes me a debt and I'm here to collect. As Ryuko finally speaks up, even if you kill him, it won't change anything. Kid, I highly doubt your mom wants you to do this. You're wrong, pro hero. My dear mother set me on this path. I'm only finishing what she started. I don't care what happens to me afterwards. As Ryuko sees Izuku create a black blade with one simple swing, as the man's head dropped to the ground, as he dispels his sword, pick up his mask because he places it on his face. As Ryuko stares down to the ground, few seconds later, she looks back at the kid. We're gonna have to take you down, kid. You can try. As Izuku steps into the shadows, disappearing from their view, as all the black spears slowly sink back into the shadows, like he was never there. As Deku comes out of the shadows that was in the good guy factory, as Izuku sees Chucky reading some sort of book. Uncle Chucky, I'm home. Welcome back, my lad. How did it go? I slaughtered them, of course. What are you reading? Hentai manga. Seriously? I'm a doll, kid. I have to get my kicks outside of slaughtering, villains. As Chucky throws a small notebook at Izuku, I found you some new targets, my boy. These are heroes, Chucky. Right. Heroes, right. I suggest you observe them. They're far from being heroes, trust me, kid. I know you don't kill innocent civilians. The shit these bastards do, even I find disturbing. And I'm a serial killer in a doll body. And I came across a guy that piqued my interest. A fellow vigilante goes by the name of Stain. Quite an interesting fellow. As Izuku spends the next couple of weeks shadowing these heroes, these heroes would stage rescue by hiring, villains to attack, as they would fight the villains, as the villains would escape to try to gain up on the rankings by giving good press. As Deku walks through the good guy factory, as he throws a sword, slamming it, impaling the wall, those good for nothing bastards. I'm gonna kill them all. Whoa, whoa there, slugger. I forgot I had it on pause. I might have to backtrack. Sorry if I repeat something, but let's get over it. The goal of these heroes, putting innocent people in jeopardy just so they could just jump the hero rankings. The pure arrogance. Listen, killer, the hero organization is filled with people like that. The world is not black and white. I am nowhere good myself. The old me would have tried to take your body and slaughtered a shitload of people because clearly it's fun. As you live as long as I have, you look at things a little bit differently. All my enemies are long past dead. The Andy and his descendants are all dead by now. I've looked into it. And I'm unable to transfer bodies. It's only a matter of time before this body fails me. What do you mean? Simple, slugger. This body will no longer be able to contain my soul. That's why I decided to teach you everything I know. How long do you have, Uncle Chucky? Don't know. I plan to make the most of it, though. I don't have any ideas of becoming a good person. My judgment will come eventually. Until then, I'm gonna have as much fun as possible. Of all the families I've lived with, yours was one of my favorites. The short time we've been together. I love killing. Seeing the expression on their face before I kill them, it's hilarious. Now, enough of the pity party. You got people to kill. People like us don't get a happy ending. Just remember. Just remember to make the most of it. What time you have left. As Chucky goes back to reading his hentai manga, as a few hours later, as Izuku shadows the heroes to a meeting place where a couple villains are meeting, as Deku used the shadows to infiltrate the abandoned building, Izuku realized that there's a lot more villains here than he originally thought. As he sees two heroes being awfully chummy with the villains, after observing the heroes more closely and overhearing what they're discussing, he found out they weren't heroes at all. They were villains posing as heroes to get intel what the heroes were up to. They were discussing a group calling themselves the League of Villains, and they're also discussing the number one heroes returning to Japan from America. As Deku's patiently thinking how he's gonna take this, or sorry, not really take it, but how he's gonna approach this. Finally, he basically said, "Screw it." As Deku jumps in front of his hiding place, landing in front of all the villains. My, so many playmates and all in one place. Who the hell are you, kid? You're Death, of course. Death changed. As, sorry, as bladed chains wrap around one of the villains. As Izuku pulls the chain backwards. This, yeah, it wasn't pretty. As the body was unrecognizable, as it's just a pile of flesh on the ground. As as all the villains' eyes widen, as black spears shoot out of the shadows, as Izuku kicks the spear, impaling the closest villain to the wall. As we cut sometime after the initial attack, outside of the abandoned building, as Dobby, she was just got done killing some villains. As she sees a boy with a half-cracked mask flying out of the door, as Izuku slams his black katanas, well, piercing the black katanas in the ground, stopping his descent or momentum. Descent would be he was going up or high in the ground, but enough about that. As she sees several villains rush towards the boy, as the boy begins to fight the villains, as she was quite impressed by the boy's skill, but She sees the villains are slowly overwhelming him. As she stands in front of him, extending her hand out towards the villains, as blue fire erupts from her hands, as she cremates the rest of the villains, as Deku is using his swords to support himself from losing his balance. As he's breathing heavy, he's severely injured. As Deku is about to say something, as she places one of her fingers on his lips. No talking, handsome. It's still only a matter of time before the heroes arrive. Because you made quite a ruckus. As Ezekiel loses consciousness, as she catches him before he falls to the ground, as she lifts him up in her arms, as she begins to evacuate the area before the heroes arrive. Sometime later, as Toga's the front door open, as she gets up from the couch to greet her friend. Dobby, what took you so long? Quiet, Toga. Get me the first aid kit. Why would you need the first aid kit? Oh, who's the cutie? Do what I say, Toga. Aye, aye, ma'am. As she gives a salute, as she begins to hop around to get the first aid kit. As that's probably where we're going to stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day due to my time zones, and I'll catch you in the next video.